Yes, a very beautiful morning out there as you join us on our newspaper review on Citizen 93.7 FM here in Abuja. My name is Lawrence Ompointe. Welcome to this great show. As usual, we will be taking a trip around the pages of the papers across the country, taking a look at some of the headlines, and during the second half of the show, we will look at some of the stories in details. So we start off from the front page of The Guardian. And the paper leads with the story, electricity crisis hits Niger others as federal government deploys military to protect assets. And still staying on the front page of The Guardian newspaper, CJN NJC launch probe into conflicting judgments on Rivers dispute. And Abbas seeks equal citizenship for foreigners married to Nigerian women. And still staying with The Guardian newspaper, presidency chides Obasanjo for criticizing Tinubu. And Nasarawa police arrest suspected kidnappers, recover 547,000 naira ransom. And Abiodun orders clamp down on illegal motor garages in Ogun State. Dapo Abiodun is the governor of Ogun State. And Southeast worries about disinformation used to fuel fear insecurity. And a lawmaker under investigation for alleged assault threat against Bolt driver. And Mpox NOA fears unreported infections as Akwa Ibom records 11 cases. And still staying with the paper, court remands police inspector for alleged murder of Enugu politician or Enugu musician. Flooded streets leave commuters stranded after heavy rainfall in Ejigbo. That's in Lagos. And Jega warns against Japa syndrome as enemy prefers solution. Federal government committed to minimum wage. We're saying this as secretaries of the government of the Federation. And police investigate death of hunter found with bullet wounds in Ogun Forest. Reps member in police custody for assaulting Bolt driver. And NUJ mourns veteran journalist Walter Okegbo. Northern governors, traditional rulers meet over power outage in North. Air Force eliminates Boko Haram terrorists in Borno. I did not keep records of money collected for Emefiele. This is according to a witness in the ongoing trial. All right, we move on to the Punch newspaper now. The headline here is No Work, No Pay Dispute. Federal government invites unions as strike grounds varsities. And there is a question here on the front page of the Punch newspaper. Who is funding political parties in Nigeria? And Ogun State not challenging EFCC's legality. Attorney General confirms. And we also have OT and our partner to fix Abia Akwa Ibom link roads. Okay. And that's OT, the governor of Abia State, and Eno, the governor of Akwa Ibom State. Students reject FCT's 10,000 naira fine for violent protest. And Ghana eyes fuel imports from Dangote refinery. And North blackout, 19 governors meet. President deploys troops against vandals. And still on the 19 governors, they are opposing President Tinubu's planned tax hike. All right, still staying in the metro section of the Punch newspaper, mechanic killed, businessman abducted in Rivers community attack. And property worth millions destroyed as fire guts Lagos building. FCT begins clampdown on Abuja street traders and beggars. Dismissed Trigger Happy Cop remanded for killing Enugu musician. An Imo State varsity student arrested for faking kidnap. And 5 women jailed 2 years for cannabis importation. All right, we move on to the Tribune newspaper. And CNG, LPG, NLJ incentives. Federal government generates over $500 million investment in 10 months. And Southeast lawmakers may move to block screening of ministerial nominees. The Nation newspaper is next now and leads with the story Blackout. Tinubu orders quick electricity restoration to affected northern states. And President excited by states' compliance with minimum wage payment, says Akume. North leaders reject VAT plan, OK's livestock reforms, security. And still staying with the Nation newspaper, Emefiele instructed me not to keep records of collected dollars, says witness. And court grants Saraki's plea to amend suit against EFCC, ICPC orders. Ogun rejects inclusion among states challenging EFCC's constitutionality. I will advocate for laws to empower women. That's according to the Women Affairs Minister. On 10,000 youths to receive NDDC's 500 million naira from December. We move on to Daily Trust now. Nigerian Air Force airstrikes kill scores of terrorists in Borno. Our story didn't incite unrest, The Guardian replies presidency. And police dismiss remand officer who killed Enugu musician. Heavy rainstorm throws Ekiti communities into darkness. And Wamako hails Tinubu for Sokoto Badagry Road project. How traditional rulers can help reduce youth unemployment. This is according to the Oni of Ife. And still on the power sector, we will restore electricity to northern states in 5 days, according to the Minister of Power. Today's day newspaper is our next port now. Blackout in North, Tinubu directs speedy restoration of power. Summons Minister NSA. And still on the power outage, federal government may establish grids at states and regional levels. With 1,768-kilometer Lagos-Calabar-Sokoto-Badagry highways, Tinubu delivering on infrastructure. And the federal government is saying CNG initiative has attracted over $175 million private investment in energy sector. Federal government pleads with states to comply with new minimum wage law. And Senate Lords railway modernization optimization process across Nigeria. Nigeria, other commodity-dependent African states experiencing slow growth. This is according to the IMF. New electricity market regime begins as Akwa Ibom floats own disco after Enugu. TCN promises to restore bulk power to Northern. To the Senate screens ministerial nominees today. And CBN IFC to provide $1 billion funding options to Nigerian businesses. And federal government now requires over 19 trillion naira to complete inherited road projects. This is according to the Minister of Works, Dave Umahi. And for the Ondo Guba, Ganduje Sanwo-Olu rally voters for Aiyedatiwa. Alleged assault, rep undergoing interrogation at Maitama police station. And back to Edo State, I don't expect Akwebolo to reverse my reforms at Governor Baseki. Pandef set up reconciliation committee to resolve Wike Fubara crisis. And Obasanjo to wealthy Nigerians assist the downtrodden. Helicopter crash, 3 not 5 bodies recovered. Reps tackle Mai for failing to address Nigeria's poor route network. Alexander Ikweche threatened to pay 50 million naira to people to kill me. This is according to the boat's driver. An FCT begins clampdown on beggars and scavengers. Arrest 34. All right, that's the much we can take in terms of the headlines across the papers. We'll take a short break now. When we return, we will look at some of the stories in details. It's still newspaper review on Citizen 93.7 FM here in Abuja. Please don't go away. The program returns in a moment.
Abuja. Wake up. Reach out. Speak up. Speak out. You are the voice of a new generation. And this
is your station.
Talk Radio 93.7 Citizen FM.
Of our dream. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dream. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Yeah. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Shake it.
The Renewed Hope Agenda for Nigeria is the brainchild of President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. It is geared towards renewing the hopes of Nigerians for a better future through its policies, projects, and programs that are aimed towards lifting the GDP and economic growth of the nation by improving standard of living of the average Nigerian. The Renewed Hope Agenda Radio is poised to promote all of the above while enlightening Nigerians as well. Join us every Tuesday afternoon, 2 p.m. on Citizen FM Radio, 93.7, Labor House, Central Business District, Abuja. Renewed Hope Agenda Radio on 93.7 FM. The future starts today.
We believe in this nation.
On the news during the week? Not to worry. Retrospect is here to make up for the missed information. Retrospect is a complete package of all the major news headlines that made the airwaves from Sunday to Saturday. Join me, Esther Musu, on the program Retrospect on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja at 6 p.m. Retrospect. We keep you informed.
Federal Republic of Nigeria, protecting lives and infrastructures. We are the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, a member nation of the International Civil Defense Organization with a world headquarters in Geneva, Switzerland. NSCDC, the defender. That's who we are.
We did operate as volunteers. We did go from places to places, carrying our functions voluntarily. Like day, like play, God don't do
We salute the courage of our founding fathers. They fought for the hearts that established civil defense. Today in Nigeria, we are mandated by the hearts to maintain peace, law and order.
Everybody come and see you.
Need a lift? Feeling low, bored, or confused?
Wants your dream to brightly glow?
Here is what to do.
Women's Corner is waiting just for you.
Education, work, lifestyle, career, mentorship, and family too.
We will tackle the issues, provide solutions, and see you through. Finding your voice, reaching high, and making an impact. Women's Corner, where knowledge can fly.
Join us every Mondays and Wednesdays at 1 p.m. for inspiring stories and practical advice to reach all your glories.
It's Women's Corner on Citizen 93.7 FM, Abuja.
Woman don't suffer, lower everybody.
The issues. Everybody respected that because it was coming from the president.
Theory behind it, the way the people took the battle in their hands. Some civil servant retired without a roof over his head.
The cause.
If we cannot trust you, then you cannot take the ticket of this country. Hussein cannot be divulged from those who cause the crime. Honestly.
The passion.
You must have national spread. So where is it?
Why are you so concerned about that? He said money was.
I never.
No.
The platform is always the same.
Insight on Citizen FM 93.7.
The source is constant.
My name is Lawrence Umoite.
There is always an opportunity.
Tomorrow, Insight returns with another interesting.
Insight with Lawrence Umoite on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. Be part of the experience.
Oh, my people, make una come gather here. Which kind tori una wan hear on top radio? Wetin dey catch fire on top social media? Bring am on top Make We Talk Am for Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja every Monday go reach Thursday, and the time na 5:10 wey be 10 minutes after 5. Make we talk am as e dey be.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. It's still Newspaper Review on Citizen 93.7 FM here in Abuja. Welcome to the second half of the show, and this is where we look at some of the stories in detail. So you can join the conversation by calling us on our numbers. The lines are open, 2229797. You can also call us on 0818 2222205 or 0818 2222206. And don't forget. All right, we start with the Nation newspaper, and where else the power story. And it leads with the story Blackout. Tinubu orders quick electricity restoration to affected northern states. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has ordered Power Minister Debayo Adelabu and all relevant agencies to expedite the restoration of electricity to affected states in the north. The president's order followed an emergency meeting he held with Adelabu and the National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, over the prolonged special advisor to the president on information and strategy. Mr. Bayo Onanuga said President Tinubu expressed concern over the situation. Reports have said 17 of the 19 states in the north have been grappling with a blackout that has lasted 2 weeks following the vandalization with impact of the power disruptions in the northern communities and businesses. Blackout. Tinubu orders quick electricity restoration to affected northern states. All right. right, still staying with the Nation newspaper, President excited by state's compliance with minimum wage payment, says 70,000 naira minimum wage by state. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, said yesterday. Since the president signed the new minimum wage in July, not less than 20 states have either started payment or will commence payment, and 71,000 naira as the new minimum wage. However, 16 states and the Federal Capital Territory are yet to finalize plans for payment. The ruling All Progressives Congress reaffirmed its support for the president in his bid to defend the welfare of Nigerians through the implementation of people-oriented policies and programs. Speaking with reporters in Abuja, Akume said the governors who fixed the minimum wage higher than 70,000 naira in their state should be commended. All right, still staying with the Nation newspaper, North's leaders reject VAT's plan, OK's livestock reforms and security. Political leaders and traditional rulers of the North have rejected the value-added tax reform bills being considered by the National Assembly. The leaders expressed support for the livestock reform program, the creation of the Livestock Development Ministry. They are also delighted with the gains made in the battle against bandits and terrorists in the region in recent times. They made these positions known yesterday after a meeting of the Northern States Governors Forum and the traditional rulers in the three geopolitical zones, that's the Northwest, the Northeast, and the North Central, led by the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Sahad Abubakar III. The president a few days ago sent an executive tax reform bill to the National Assembly for consideration and passage. The comprehensive outlay of tax plans bill to go into effect from January 1 is targeted at taxing the upper class more than the middle and the lower class. The VAT is planned to be imposed on luxury items and increase to 15%. Tax on items is currently 7.5%. But the governors and the Northern State Council of Elders and Chiefs said the new arrangement on tax sharing is against the interests of the North. All right, we move on to the Guardian newspaper now. CJN, NJC launch probe into issuing conflicting rulings in political cases affecting Rivers State are now officially under investigation by a National Judicial Council panel. The Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kudirat Kekereekun, met with the NJC panel yesterday in her office and directed that the investigation report be completed by the end of the week. According to this directive, the panel has summoned all judges involved in the multiple cases arising from the ongoing political dispute between Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his former mentor, the Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike. The panel, chaired by a former Justice of the Court of Appeal, also includes two heads of courts. Additionally, the CJN has summoned the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, Justice John Toho, who is scheduled to appear before the NJC panel today, that's on Tuesday, October 29, to address the judgment his court issued regarding the Rivers political crisis. Toho is expected to defend the Federal High Court under his administration, particularly in response to petition filed with the NJC by various lawyers and litigants regarding political cases from Rivers State. He is specifically required to explain why these cases are being heard in Abuja rather than at the Port Harcourt division of the court. The CJN initiated the probe independently, responding to public concerns over the apparent inconsistencies in court rulings. Prominent lawyer Femi Falana, one of the involved legal representatives, sent a letter to the Chief Judge last Friday questioning why cases originating in Port Harcourt are being heard in Abuja instead of by the Port Harcourt Division, which have 5 judges on its bench. Falana raised concern about allegations that judgments may be influenced or procured in Abuja. It's the newspaper review on Citizen 93.7 FM. The lines are open. You can call us on 0903 22299797. You can also call us on 0818 2222205 or 0818 2222206. Well, I'm still staying with the Guardian newspaper. Abbas seeks equal citizenship for foreigners married to Nigerian women. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, has expressed the need for a constitutional amendment to allow equal citizenship rights to foreigners married to Nigerian women. The Speaker also called for women empowerment, noting that it was necessary strategic move for economic growth. He made the calls at the International Legislative Dialogue on Women and the Constitutional Amendment process in Nigeria, organized by the House Committee on the Review of the Constitution in Abuja. Present at the events were presiding and principal officers of the National Assembly, ministers, female party and forum leaders, gender-based civil society organizations, members of the diplomatic corps, among others, while noting that some view increased women representation as a threat to the status quo. Abbas said inclusion is not displacement, it is partnership. According to him, women's presence complements the contributions of men and enriches policy-making process. All right, we move on to another story now. Presidency chides Obasanjo for criticizing Tinubu. The presidency has accused former President Olusegun Obasanjo of making unfounded claims that President Bola Tinubu came into office without any plans. In response, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Temitope Ajayi, said the so-called planless president is actively implementing economic reforms that Obasanjo himself initiated but abandoned midway through his tenure. He said one of Obasanjo's key objectives was a complete deregulation of the downstream oil industry, a goal he ultimately failed to achieve due to opposition from organized labor and civil society groups. Ajayi said that the former president only managed to increase fuel prices 4 times throughout his 2 terms in office rather than implementing the comprehensive reforms he envisioned. The SSA, while acknowledging Obasanjo's historical significance as a leader who opened the economy and initiated essential reforms, criticized the former president's perception of himself as a singular savior of Nigeria, stating that his views often overshadow the achievement of subsequent administration. Ajayi, however, said the current administration remains committed to building upon the reforms initiated in the past. Still staying with the Guardian newspaper, lawmaker under investigation for alleged assault threat against Bolt driver. The Federal Capital Territory Police Command said the Alex Kwechi, a member of the House of Representatives, is currently being interrogated at the Maitama Divisional Police Headquarters. The FCT Police Command spokesman, or the spokesperson, Josephine Ade, made the disclosure in a statement yesterday. The lawmaker had faced criticisms of some Nigerians for allegedly assaulting a Bolt driver, Mr. Stephen Abowashiya, in the Mitama area of Abuja. According to reports, the Bolt driver, who was sent to deliver a package, asked Kwechi to leave his residence to collect the item, a request the lawmaker considered disrespectful as he expected the driver to bring them to his compound in the affluent Meitama neighborhood. The driver's refusal to comply led to a dispute that escalated into a verbal and physical altercation, with Kweja allegedly assaulting the driver, who remained calm throughout the encounter after requesting payment for his service. In a video widely circulated on the social media platform, the lawmaker was heard saying, "I can make you disappear and nothing will happen." After allegedly slapping the victim, he reportedly remarked with contempt, "You can go ahead and call the Inspector General of Police," demonstrating a troubling disregard for authority of law enforcement. Ade added that CP Tunji Diso had ordered a thorough investigation. The police spokesman, that's the first PRO, ACP Muyiwa Adejobi, who reacted to the viral video on social media, noted that the Nigerian police force is aware of the incident between a Bolt driver which took place in Abuja. Lawmaker under investigation for alleged assault, threat against Bolt driver. Alright, still staying with the Guardian newspaper, Jega warns against Japa syndrome as NMA prefers solution. Former chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Atairu Jega, has cautioned Nigerians against leaving the country despite the biting economic hardship being experienced today. He noted that other nations had gone through more turbulent periods than Nigeria and came out stronger, expressing hope that the current situation would not last forever. Speaking at the unveiling and rebranding Nigeria initiative in Nigeria, the former INEC boss emphasized that being a first-class citizen would be more glorifying than being considered an alien in a foreign land. And also, the Director General, National Orientation Agency, Mr. Issa Onilu, lamented that social media content creators had continued to paint Nigeria in bad light over time, disclosing that the agency has set machinery in place to ensure that social media content was created to paint the nation in positive light. And NUJ mourns veteran journalist Walter. Journalist Federal Capital Territory Council has mourned the death of its former internal auditor, Mr. Walter Kegbu, who died in Bende Local Council in Abia State. In a tribute to, was a loving father, doting comrade, inspiring professional, and worthy example to his community. All right, we move on to the Punch newspaper now. No work, no pay dispute. Federal government invites unions as strike grounds varsity. On Monday, federal universities across the country were shut down in compliance with the indefinite strike called by the Joint Action Committee of the Non-Academic Staff Union of Education and Associated Institutions and the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities. A statement signed by the National President of SANU, Mohammed Ibrahim and the General Secretary of NASU, Peter Adeyemi, said the ultimatum it gave the federal government over its withheld salaries expired on Sunday midnight. The unions are demanding, among others, the payment of the 4 months withheld salaries, improved remuneration and salary allowances, and implementation of the 2009 agreement with government. The federal government had, through the Minister of Labour and Employment, invoked the no work, no pay policy when the 4 university-based unions embarked on a prolonged strike in 2022. And we move on to the Tribune newspaper now. CNG, LPG, LNG incentives. Federal government generates over $500 million investment in 10 months. The federal government said it has generated over $500 million investments from January till now from the fiscal incentives introduced to deepen the penetration of the CNG, LPG, and the energy in Nigeria. Special advisor to the president on energy made this disclosure on Monday during the opening session of the ongoing 18th Oil Trading and Logistics Africa Downstream Energy Week in Lagos. These incentives, she said, included waivers on import duties and VAT on the sale and distribution of the NLG, CNG, LPG, as well as associated equipment. LNG is the acronym for the liquefied natural gas, while the CNG is compressed natural gas, and the LPG is the liquefied petroleum gas. Represented by Mrs. Eria Onogorua, the special advisor to the president, added, very importantly, these fiscal incentives also cover electric vehicles to encourage investment in this area as part of our commitment to sustainable energy transition in Nigeria. Still staying with the Tribune newspaper, Southeast lawmakers may move to block screening of ministerial nominees. The planned screening of ministerial nominees sent to the Senate last week by the president may run into some troubled political waters today, as lawmakers from the southeast zones were said to have expressed displeasure over what they termed apparent neglect of the zone. Investigations by the Nigerian Tribune confirmed that the Southeast Caucus in the National Assembly had been angered by the marginalization of the zone as seen in the ministerial configuration. It was learned that the lawmakers have been meeting since the list was unveiled and that they will seek to halt the screening in the Senate today. All right, that's the much we can take on the show today, and tomorrow will be another day. Let's meet tomorrow, bright and early, 7 a.m. My name is Lawrence Omoiti. Enjoy the rest of your day.
But tell you that Rasta man come be make it is right.